We're live.
So we're ready to begin then?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to call this meeting of the City of San Fernando Transportation and Safety Commission to order. Let the record reflect that the meeting is called to order at 7:04 p.m. And we will begin with roll call.
Chair Nicole Moore,
Present.
Vice Chair Clarissa Tolentino. You're muted.
Is that me? Didn't sound like me.
Vice Chair Tolentino has typed in the chat that she is having difficulty with audio.
Oh, okay.
Commissioner D. Aikman,
Present?
Commissioner Francisco Arizon,
Here.
and Commissioner Rudy Trujillo.
Present.
All right, so next up is the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you so much, Maria, for our flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the
of the
United
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
And justice for all.
and justice for all.
Thank you. That is
Thank you, Maria.
in sync over Zoom than one would think. Next up is approval of the agenda. Did everyone receive the agenda packet?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, any difficulties?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make the motion to approve our agenda.
I'll go ahead and second that.
Let the record reflect that Commissioner Arizon has motioned to approve the agenda, and it's been seconded by Commissioner Trujillo.
Chair Moore,
Yes?
Vice Chair Tolentino, Commissioner Aikman,
Here?
Commissioner Arizon,
Yes.
and Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
Why don't Vice Chair Tolentino is just going to type everything and we'll just read it aloud so that
Okay.
for the record and on YouTube that it's there. Let the record reflect that Vice Chair Tolentino has also approved the agenda. Do we have any public statements this evening?
We don't have any public statements.
No public statements this evening. All right. Then next on the agenda for now, we're starting something a little bit new. Our meetings are going to reflect a consent calendar tonight. All that's on the consent calendar is the approval of the minutes. But should there be other things that are basically just procedural in nature, they will be on the consent calendar as well. So has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from our February 3rd meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so can I get a motion to approve the consent calendar? Can I get a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar for February 3rd, 2021.
And I'll second that.
Chair Moore,
Yes?
Vice Chair Tolentino.
So is that a yes or an abstain? Because Vice Chair Tolentino wasn't actually there. Is she allowed to yes for that? Are we good or should she abstain? Just checking.
I think it's I'm sorry.
Because it's
I mean-
consent calendar, but all that's on it is minutes, so I'm just checking.
Yeah, I mean, I think she can give a yes for approving the minutes. Yeah.
And it's the consent calendar. Wonderful. Let the record reflect that Vice Chair Tolentino has said yes to approving the consent calendar.
Commissioner Aikman,
Yes.
Commissioner Arizon,
Yes.
and Commissioner Trujillo.
That's a yes.
All right, next up is our annual reorganization of the commission. So we had tabled this last time as we did not have a full commission. with which to make some decisions. And so that is what is next on our agenda. Each year we are supposed to elect a chair and a vice chair. So I'd like to open the nominations for the position of chair.
I'd like to nominate Clarissa.
I'll second that motion.
All right, if there are no objections, I will close nominations. Of course, Vice Chair Tolentino would like to say thank you for the nomination. So let's do a roll call vote.
Nominations for chair for Clarissa Tolentino. Commissioner Moore,
Yes,
Commissioner Tolentino,
she says yes.
Commissioner Aikman,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
That's a yes.
and Commissioner Arizon.
Yes.
All right, next up would be vice chair, right?
That's correct.
Oh, I guess technically we need to announce the results, yes?
Yes.
My bad.
Congratulations, Chair Tolentino.
So at this point, normally the new chair would take over. Do we want to pause for a moment for you to maybe try to join by audio? Let's see, do we have, here is the, I think that should get you the phone to call in by phone perhaps.
Also, Commissioner Tolentino, maybe sometimes if you hit the space bar, it may mute it or unmute it temporarily, possibly. Just a suggestion.
I think. Okay, it's working now.
All right.
There was some, I don't know if you guys heard the feedback.
No.
Okay, let me know if it comes out because I hear it on my end.
I hear you loud and clear.
You just went out again.
So you actually get to take over at this point. You get to take over and open it up for nominations of the vice chair.
All right. I don't know how this usually works. I was hoping I could watch you a little bit longer, but okay. So nominations for vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Francisco Arizon.
I would second that too.
Sorry, I was muted. Nominations are made for Commissioner Francisco to be vice chair. Do I hear? We got a second. Are there any objections?
Yeah, no, I actually second that.
Cool. Okay. So a motion is made to close the nominations.
I motion that we close the nominations.
Second.
Okay, we got a second to close the nominations. Now we shall conduct a roll call.
Chair Tolentino,
Yes.
Commissioner Aikman,
Yes.
Commissioner Arizon,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
That's a yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Okay, that was 100% yes for everybody.
and congratulations, Vice Chair Francisco Arizon.
Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate it.
And now we go on to the next. I'm trying to pull up the agenda to see what the meetings.
Next item is the discussion of unlicensed driver program.
Okay, thank you. So I know we talked about this last meeting that I was here. I believe it was in December. Have we gotten any updates on that?
Yes, if I may. So there was some information that was sent in the agenda packet that was about it. I hope you all had a chance to review that. It is the recommendation that we partner with the San Fernando Police Department to offer a community education workshop. So if we approve this, that's what we'll be making a motion to do, is to partner with the San Fernando Police Department to offer a community education workshop, which will be provided virtually over Zoom. And the purpose of it will be educating community members on how to obtain a driver's license. We also hope to provide a Spanish translation. Since this was something that I was working on as a personal passion project, there was not exactly an ad hoc committee or anything formed. It has just been Sergeant Aguirre and I working on it. And he believes that it's probably better coming from me that I'd be the one to present rather than it feeling like the police telling you, please get a license, because he feels like people know that the police want you to get a license. And so I would be presenting the information. I met with Sergeant Aguirre to plan what the important facets were, and he found information on a lot of different features, and we decided to combine a bunch of different information that was available from the DMV. And the workshop would cover the risks of driving without a license and the financial liability that is involved if you're involved in a collision without a license, as well as some of the other legal consequences for driving without a license. A lot of people don't realize, and I included the vehicle codes pertinent to this, a lot of people don't realize that you can actually get your license suspended before you have one. And so they can pull you over at 15 years old and put in your name and birthday and find that you are driving with a suspended license even before you're even eligible one, because they are suspending your ability to get one and making it that much harder to get a license before you're actually eligible. So we would be talking about that. There are some pretty severe consequences to driving without a license. We feel that this is very important, that people understand this, and then how to get a driver's license, especially right now when young people would normally be turning to people in their schools for this information. We know that schools are operating on a more virtual format, and while the resources are less accessible to them, that this is something that we could offer to explain the various driver's license requirements for those who are 16 and 17 years old, as well as share some local resources for behind the wheel training. I've done some research on the various behind the wheel driving programs that are available. Unfortunately, there is not one located within the city limits, so we would be referring people to ones in like North Hills and Encino. I did check very hard though to see if we could support a local business, but it doesn't seem that there is one. If anyone in the public knows of a behind the wheel training that is located in San Fernando, please let me know. But I have found ones locally that we can refer people to. And then as well as we'd be sharing some online resources for test preparation and the requirements to get a driver's license if you're 17 and a half or older. As well as Sergeant Aguirre will share some of the information about driver's license availability for undocumented Californians, who oftentimes don't realize that it is still very possible, regardless of your citizenship status, to get a license. And then he will be holding the informal Q&A that we will do together. And we think that this need is really an important thing because the police department cites a very high number of people each year driving without a license. And this affects all of us. And as the Transportation and Safety Commission, our goal is to make our streets safe. And we know that people who are driving without a license are statistically more likely to be involved in a collision than those who do have the proper license. And it's also one of the most common reasons that drivers can flee the scene of a traffic collision, is they're just afraid that they will be in more severe trouble. So that could be a misdemeanor or a felony, and we want to prevent our residents from having that trouble or those fears. So overall, we just want to encourage people who are driving on the streets of San Fernando to obtain a license, as it increases all of our safety.
If I could, Chair Tolentino, I would like to make a motion really to move forward with that partnership with the understanding that Commissioner Nicole Moore would take the lead on that. I do want to say something along that line. As someone who is working with the county diversion and development program, collaboration with LAPD Mission Police Station, along with the DA's office out of Sylmar Juvenile Court, the necessity, the importance of having a piece, a component like this within the city. I mean, boy, we really do need it, because versus like having constantly every day almost, or every other day, we're seeing where cars are refusing to stop, and we're seeing, what do you call that, the chases going on all over the place. So with all that said, I make a motion that we move forward with it with our Commissioner Moore to go ahead and take the lead on that.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. I just have a couple questions about that. I'm assuming it's going to be virtual, correct?
Yes, it
So
will be
how-
through Zoom.
Right. So how would it work? Are we going to have flyers sent out to homes, or would it be on the website so that we can get more people to know about it?
Right. So Sergeant Aguirre and I were discussing how best to manage this, and we want to start with promoting it to all of the local schools, including Los Angeles Mission College, so that we are covering the high schools. I'm also a commissioner on the Education Commission, so I have quite a few contacts in that regard. And so we would be working with all of the local schools to try to get young people, but then also hoping that the city would promote it on the city's social media and the city website and things like that too. I don't know that actual physical flyers are going to do much good right now, although I could possibly get some of those run to put at local businesses. We're aiming for mid-May, as the staff would need to do a budget analysis to make sure that there are no extensive costs. I know we as a commission are not to be, doing things that cause the staff a great amount of work, and it was hoping that this wouldn't be causing a significant amount of work. Sergeant Aguirre is volunteering his time. We're aiming for a Thursday so that it's on one of his days off. He does need to do community education each year as part of the police department's goals for just meeting their mission as a police department. So it falls into that area. Right now we have like a hopeful date of, we're kind of hoping for May 13th, but we need to wait and see. We need to see what it looks like. So
I do have a question. Can we just put that also as a part of the mailers that go out on a monthly basis through the city, informing the community of the opportunity to engage their youth in this?
Yeah, sure. You're speaking of the city manager's report. Is that something you're thinking of? Because that would be one avenue that we could look at. I know we just started sending those out again, Commissioner Trujillo. And in fact, I think one was sent out today. So that's one avenue that we could advertise this in the next, definitely the next meeting would be, the next manager's report will be going out in the beginning of April. And then we could send out again in the beginning of May. So we'd have two opportunities before a May workshop to advertise it that way, if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah,
we can look at any other sort of mailings that we do.
Yeah, because I thought also that the city also partook in some kind of either through utility bill or something of that nature. Wasn't the
Mhm.
city also a part of that? So I was wondering if they could actually do something along that line.
Sure, we could look into that option as well.
One last thing, because also, of course, they're keeping everybody updated on the COVID, whether it was testing or the actually getting the shot. So I'm sure they're using various platforms to inform the community. So is it a possibility that we're able to use those same platforms?
Yeah, I think we could definitely, the way we push out information to the community through different social media outlets, I'm sure I could work with the city manager's office to get word out through those different avenues.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Right. And one thought that I just had also, maybe a virtual flyer, because I know Commissioner Moore, we mentioned that physical flyers might not be noticed as much since there's not many people going out unless they're on local businesses. But virtual flyers could definitely be an option, maybe. There are some templates.
We were
on-
thinking doing something that was very Instagram friendly, trying to know our audience. And so I'm pretty good at that stuff, the various graphic design type things. And we have sort of like a theme worked out, like in terms of colors and a PowerPoint and things like that, that we're working on together to try to get that done within the next month so that we're prepared to go in May, once we work with city staff to secure that it will work and that we have a doable date and whatnot, because we need to know that we obviously have the staff's assistance in terms of hosting the Zoom and whatnot. We would likely host it on Zoom, but then stream it on YouTube and just have someone monitoring the comments on YouTube.
Canva is also an option. And so maybe that could be one of the ways to format the flyers. And yeah, I was also thinking Instagram because I mean, there's a lot of young people right now. They're on, high school age. They're always on social media. So just putting it on there, then it'll get shared and all that stuff and it'll just spread. So yeah.
And I did look into, I know that there was an organization called the Youth Policy Institute that used to operate in several of our local schools, and they are since no longer around, but an organization that took over for them called Think Together is offering, they're not in the city of San Fernando per se, but the school that I teach at, Von Next Century Learning Center, they just started a driver's education virtual class. And so they would be able to advertise it through that. And then we're hoping that we would find similar things at other schools nearby as well. There is only one actual group of high schools, which is the Cesar Chavez Learning Academies within the city. And we would promote within the cities and around the city border. So yeah, that is the goal, and I will work with Sergeant Aguirre on making it happen. If someone, I appreciate that Pastor Rudy made a motion to go for this, but I guess before we vote, if that motion could authorize me to work with Sergeant Aguirre and city staff to set a date and promote it, that would be wonderful.
I'd like to make that motion to begin it. I don't know about the rest of our fellow commissioners, but I feel pretty confident of what they've already worked on and proposed, and I'd like to make that motion to move forward on it.
Is this the same motion I seconded?
Yeah, we went back into discussion, so I was just asking for it to be amended
I'll
to
second that motion.
authorize me to do the work with the city on it.
I seconded.
Yeah. All right, we got a second notion for Commissioner Moore to work with Sergeant Aguirre on our educating for the driver's license program, unlicensed driver's program. Thank you. And now we will move on to general commission comments.
We're going to do roll call.
Oh, we roll call.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Chair Tolentino?
Yes.
Vice Chair Arizon?
Yes.
Commissioner Aikman?
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo?
That's a yes.
And Commissioner Moore?
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Now we will move on to general commission comments.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Proceed.
I would like to congratulate Commissioner Moore for taking action on this very sensitive matter that our little city does need. And I'm glad that I'm here to work with you in anything that I can do on my part, pass out flyers or knock on doors, whatever it takes. You can count on us. Thank you. And one other thing, Madam Chair, also Commissioner Moore, thank you so much for serving. In my opinion, you did an excellent job, and looking forward for the next round that you come about to be the chair again.
Well, I guess I could talk next. First of all, congratulations to our new chair and co-chair. Thank you so much. And once again, I would like to also say more thank you for just taking the lead over the last year and, just really adding that structure and just reminding us of, how it should be, how it should go, I should say. But also, I'd like to just say to the city, thank you for all the hard work that you guys have done consistently, especially with the COVID testing and now the vaccination going on with our seniors over at San Fernando Park, Recreation Park, since I live directly across the street from them. Boy, they have been busy like crazy. I mean, I live directly across the street. Then finally, they actually started setting appointment times and whatnot. But at one time, we'd have people out there 6, 7 at night at the very beginning. So it's nice to see it a little bit more structured. And also because of the fact that we also have people coming into the city that aren't familiar with the speed limits, especially as they're driving in front of the park and whatnot. So just my hats off to the city for all the hard work they've done on that. Thank you.
I agree. We have definitely seen a lot of progress with the testing and the vaccinations. I know the lines you're talking about, they were really, really long for a while, but it's good to know that they're interested in keeping the cases low. It's very much appreciated to everybody who is involved.
I have gotten both of my shots now at CSUN. I was really anxious, just hoping that it would be a positive experience, and it was. The shot even didn't hurt. I mean, I didn't even feel it going in either time. I had no after effects whatsoever. So if anybody has those kind of fears that encourage them to get the shot. It's worth it. I have people I know that believe in all of the voodoo and everything started about the shots, and I think they should give them a chance. We have a chance of getting our life back again. That would be great. And congratulations to our new chairs, and congratulations with the positive program started by Mrs. Moore.
Yes, thank you very much. It is very appreciated. And also thank you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to tell Commissioner Aikman, thank you for clarifying there were no side effects to the vaccine, because I do know a lot of people are very concerned about that. Like, oh no, I heard that this happened to them after they got the vaccine, and they're just like super scared of them. But I will be sure to let them know that there is nothing to worry about.
It was a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Really? That's good to know.
Scared.
Commissioner Moore, before you do, I gotta say I got mine also. I'm 65, so I qualified. I actually went to Magic Mountain, and I'm feeling good.
Thank you. So now we have 2 testimonies to the shot.
Make that a party of 3. I will give my commissioner comments, and I, as an educator, qualified as of March 1st.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to point out that food workers are eligible now as well. So educators and food workers are available, which is very exciting. I got the Pfizer shot. I am halfway. I've got my first shot. Looking forward to shot number 2. So yay for Transportation Commission party of 3. And I can't wait till everybody else is eligible and our city can reopen again. And I just want to thank everyone for your support of this program that has become very near and dear to my heart. And as we get more bodies flowing through our cities and our more vehicles flowing through our cities, I am very grateful that we have all sorts of wonderful ways to work to keep our city safe. And I also just wanted to throw out there that in the last year that I've been on this commission, one of the things that we were working on so much was the Glen Oaks project. And I just don't think that we say enough every day how incredibly much I appreciate that Glen Oaks resurfacing and how absolutely wonderful it is to drive along that beautifully paved and repainted street. So thank you so much to everyone who was involved in getting that done, because it is wonderful.
Yep, I've definitely seen all the difference. It's amazing.
Madam Chair, may I would like also to add congratulations to your nomination. Also, piggyback on the commissioners, Eatman and Trujillo's about the city's hard work throughout the year and helping us throughout as well. And as far as to that project of San Fernando, I can proudly say that on that project, many of our union brothers of Labor's Local 300 served our community. And if I'm not mistaken, there was also residents of the community working with those contractors to do that project as well. And one other thing that is most important, especially in these crises, that they were paid prevailing wage. The contractor that hired them is known for not having any issues where they pay the correct wage when they work on a city project. And thank you, everyone, all the commissioners as well, for all your hard work throughout the year. Thank you.
Have we had comments by our staff?
Not yet. We were actually moving towards that.
Oh, okay.
And now we shall open up for staff communication.
Sure. Thank you, Chair Tolentino. So yeah, I will give a brief update on the Safe and Active Streets project. We did, as part of the project, one of the steps is forming an advisory group that is made up of members of the community, business owners, residents, people from schools and places of worship, people with a real strong interest in improving active transportation options in the city, focused on biking and walking. And so this group, their role is to help us zero in and focus on identified projects in the city that improving crosswalks, improving and promoting opportunities for walking in the city, and also encouraging biking safely through the city. So there are a number of areas in the city that were identified in the Safe and Active Streets Plan in 2017 as priority projects, areas where, based on traffic collision data, accident data, areas where there are serious safety concerns. So this advisory group met with the project team on February 19th. Chair Moore is actually on the advisory group, and we'll be meeting a few more times, but we started to discuss these priority areas, fleshing out this information a little bit more, because our project team and our design consultant will be developing 8 conceptual designs based on these areas, these focused areas, with project cost estimates that we can then go out and try to get funding from. Caltrans is one example of that offer funding for active transportation projects, so that the city doesn't have to go out of pocket on it. And so we are working on the first step, which was starting to identify these priority areas. But the other important focus of the advisory group for this project is helping us to really shape the community outreach part of it, which so much of this project is about community outreach and getting really full wide participation from our community, because it affects everyone. The ability to be able to walk and bike through the city safely and to promote it and encourage it for reasons of health and just community engagement. These are all very important. And this is a very vital project that really relies heavily on community input. So the advisory group will be also helping to shape how we reach the community, what type of message we send out, how, just similar to kind of what we were discussing on the, how to reach people for the unlicensed driver workshop. This is the same idea as we're brainstorming about how to get this message out and get people to come out, because we'll be doing things like bicycle and walking audits of the city with the consultant team. So there'd be an opportunity for folks to go out and be a part of that and be able to provide input. But then as the design starts to develop, also to be able to provide feedback, and we'll be trying to get everybody that we possibly can to see these designs, give their input, so that the project team can make important edits to the work that really reflect what the community wants. So we met on the 19th. We'll probably have 3-4 more meetings before the end of the project. We anticipate that the project will wrap up in the end of December of this year or January of next year. And again, the ultimate deliverable of this project is a set of conceptual plans that show improvements in different parts of the city that will allow for more safe, active transportation, walking and biking, and then cost estimates that will allow us to take those plans and a cost estimate to go apply for grants, grant applications. You need to be able to show both of those things: a conceptual plan and a funding program, how much it's going to cost, so they can determine what they can contribute to it. So we're excited to get started on this project. Chair Moore was a wonderful contributor during that meeting. She had a lot of great ideas, and I think this will be a standing item over the next year. Probably every month I'll be coming back and just reporting on how we're progressing with this, and especially as we get to the opportunities to start engaging with the community through workshops, those biking and walking audits, different opportunities to start doing this outreach. I'll be heavily promoting that through the standing item where we do updates on the Safe and Active Streets project. So, but anyways, I just wanted to be able to give the update. We're excited to get going, and thank you to Commissioner Moore for her participation, and we'll continue to inform everybody how it's going along the way, and we'll have a real successful project. Thank you. And that's all I have. I'll let other staff if they have anything to add.
All right, thank you for that. We really appreciate it. Mr. Trujillo, I saw you. I think you had a comment.
Yeah, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this also part of the Metro plan? Metro was also part of this whole ordeal, or no?
They did like a first mile, last mile program, study and plan. This is separate from that, though. This is something that the city is doing on its own. So it should intersect with that plan, though. So we could incorporate different. That first and last mile plan is a way of looking at how we get residents to bus stops, to the Metrolink station. So there is definitely a natural intersection between what the work that Metro did and what we're doing on the Safe and Active Streets plan. So we would definitely be incorporating elements of that for sure.
I thank you, Chair, for giving me the opportunity to ask question. But also I wanted to ask, at one time there was also talks of also merging or having the wash as part of, is there any inclusion of that wash in some of the talks that were begun quite a few years ago in 2017? Is there anything tied to that? I haven't seen it lately as far as any updates. But I think Pacoima Beautiful, along with a few other entities, were the ones that were taking somewhat of the lead. And I'm just wondering if that's also included in this.
It's not part of the Safe and Active Streets plan. There is a separate project that I'd be glad to come back at the next meeting and provide update. Right now, it's kind of sitting and waiting that particular project because Army Corps of Engineers is reviewing the information that, as you mentioned, the other partners in this project are kind of handling the design portion of it. And so it's in review with Army Corps of Engineers. So it hasn't really moved any further forward because of that. But I could come back as soon as it's ready to kind of pick up again. We could come back and give an update. But at this point, it's just kind of sitting and waiting for that agency to come back to the designers on.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Should we add that to the agenda for next month's meeting so that we can get an update, or is?
Sure. Yeah, we could certainly do an update during this section here if you like. Not a problem.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And Chair Moore, I see your hand is raised.
I'm commissioner now.
Commissioner. It's going to take a while to get used to.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There is to address, we're not allowed, obviously we can't have substantive discussion on this right now, so I won't go into great detail about it, but thank you for agendizing it for next time. The Safe and Active Streets campaign, it had hired, if you recall, we had made the recommendation to City Council to authorize a consulting agency that is handling that, and they actually did an overlay map of 5 years of collision data, and it's a really beautiful color-coded map that I would really love if we could share with the commission next time, that those are the areas of focus.
Sure, absolutely. I could do a more kind of robust report and update so that we could have a discussion. I can have it like as a real bigger discussion item at the next meeting for sure. And I can include that map. We can go through a little more information. But I think I'm glad to keep talking about this at each of our meetings, as hopefully it'll encourage opportunities for getting the community interested in the project. But yeah, you're right, that map would be something that would be good as part of a report that I could do at the next meeting.
All right, thank you so much. Are there any more staff communication that we would like to share at the moment? Okay, so we shall move on to adjournment. Is that correct? All right, a motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:47 p.m.
I'll make that motion. I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Second. All right.
Okay, roll call. Chair Tolentino,
Yes.
Vice Chair Dizon,
Yes.
Commissioner Aikman,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
That's a yes.
and Commissioner Moore.
Yes.
All right, this meeting has been adjourned on Wednesday, March 3rd at 7:47 p.m. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye,
Good
everyone.
night, everybody. Nice to see
Everything.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.